So what it is, holotropic breathwork is based on extensive research in psychiatric, psychotherapeutic, and spiritual settings. It's a technique that's been developed by Stanislav Grof, which is a pioneer of researching on consciousness and researching on non-ordinary state of consciousness. He started his research in the 50s with LSD at the moment, with a lot of experiential sessions using the use of this tool for psychotherapy, with a lot of good results in every kind of pathology for thousands of cases. And later on, in the 70s, when all this was forbidden by the Nixon administration, they had to change the way they practiced. So, as he was already knowing everything about all the traditional healing systems, the shamanic healing system, the Eastern philosophy, the Hinduist breathing practice, and all these things, they compiled the best practices from everywhere in a sequence that involve sound, breathing, and focused body work, energy release body work. The main purpose is to access a non-ordinary state of consciousness that will gives you access to your unconscious, so you can primarily access to your own issues and your own knowledge about yourself, and then also access the collective unconscious, as Carl Gustav Jung described it, which is the realm of all the ideas, creativity. So you can also access to the non-local consciousness, or also called collective unconscious by Carl Gustav Jung, which is the realm of all the possibility, all the ideas, all the inspiration, and where creativity comes from.
So when we talk about inspiration, it comes from the ancient Latin inspire, which means in spirit. So we're connecting to something that's bigger than ourselves, that's greater than ourselves, and has a boundless amount of knowledge and information that everybody has access to, but doesn't necessarily know how to access it.
That's it.
And I think that's the key here, what we're talking about. Yeah. This is a technique where we can access higher states of consciousness, almost, dare I say it, like taking drugs, like being on acid, like taking ayahuasca, but without the chance of being thrown in jail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the point. It's been developed around these molecules and practices, and the purpose is to reach the same kind of consciousness that you get used with power plants, and it's been developed under the name of transpersonal psychology, which means trans that goes beyond, and personal, the person. So the main idea is to expand the consciousness beyond the limit of the person, beyond the ego, and to access the whole consciousness that's all around, merging into it. So these states of consciousness are known from the beginning of humanity. It's been used from thousands of years. We've got drawing in caves speaking about it. We've got books before the Bibles that say things about it. We've found in Spain the use of mushrooms 3,000 years ago. Mm-hmm. So these states were all in great esteem before, and unfortunately in the Western civilization we forgot it. Yes. We forgot the way to use it, because we used to think that Western culture is not based on it, is more materialist and pragmatic and all these things, and the Eastern one is the opposite, based on these states, based on meditation, based on breathing techniques and a different conception of the universe and the consciousness. But in fact, it's wrong. When you study the ancient Greek, for example, you discover that there was many initiations that were based on it. The famous Eleusis mystery was based on it. It's 3,000 people a year that was entering a temple to pass an initiation with a brew called Kikeon that supposedly was made with the same mushroom that grows on wheat. That's the origin of LSD. And all the scientists, all the philosophers that made the Western culture passed by this initiation. And we can suppose that most of their insights are coming from there. Because, as we just said, it's direct access to knowledge. It's non-local knowledge, and it's direct access to this knowledge. You don't need to learn anything. You just know it.
Yeah. I mean, in the Western world, we kind of split it in two, didn't we? We took the material sciences and everything like that, and made science. And anything that was to do with consciousness, well, that's religion.
Yes.
And that's kind of how we divided it.
It's the problem, to divide things. And the aim of transpersonal psychology is the opposite, is to put together things that seems opposite, like science and spirituality, or tradition and modernity. All these things that look so opposite are not, in fact, because as you learn in every mystic tradition, duality is not the thing. The whole is the thing. So each side is contained in the whole.
Yes. So if you're wanting to explore kind of what makes you tick in a deeper way than you've ever explored before, and look at kind of interesting and new ways of doing so, something that you can take home and use yourself in your own time, you'll be given these tools during this workshop. Now, there are going to be two workshops that we're going to be doing. One's going to be a short introduction where we're going to go through some techniques, some principles, things like that, and then you are able to book on to do a full day holotropic deep dive experience where, you're going to explore some crazy things. So if you're really wanting to delve deep and expand your consciousness, you need to come along to Tomas's holotropic workshop.